Stop scrolling right now because what I'm about to tell you could change everything about your life as a green card holder in America. If you're a permanent resident watching this video in 2026, I need you to understand something critical. Your rights, your freedoms, the very things you worked so hard to achieve when you got that green card, they're being stripped away one by one. And most people have no idea it's even happening. In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose 6 devastating changes that are hitting green card holders right now, today as we speak. Changes that affect your ability to grow a business, to travel freely, to support your family, and even to stay in this country. If you don't know about these changes, you could lose everything you've built. So stay with me until the very end, because I'm not just going to tell you what's being taken away. I'm going to show you exactly how to protect yourself and fight back. Let's get into this. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Immigration Alert Center. I'm here to give you the information that other channels won't tell you, the real truth about what's happening to immigrants in America right now. Before we dive deep into these shocking changes, I need you to do something important. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because immigration rules are changing so fast that missing one update could literally destroy your American dream. And if this video helps you, give it a thumbs up so YouTube shows it to more people who desperately need this information. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why every single green card holder needs to see this. Now let me tell you what's really going on. Imagine this. You came to America legally. You followed every rule. You waited years for your green card. You built a life here. You started a business, hired employees, contributed to the economy, and then one day, everything changes. The rules you played by suddenly don't matter anymore. That's exactly what's happening right now to hundreds of thousands of green card holders across America. And the first attack is aimed directly at small business owners. Starting March 1st, just days away as I'm recording this, if you're a green card holder who owns a business, you can no longer get loans from the Small Business Administration. Think about that for a second. The SBA, which exists to help small businesses grow and succeed, is now completely closed to green card holders. The new rule says that businesses must be 100% owned by U.S. citizens to qualify for these loans. Not 90%, not 50%, 100%. Even if you own just a tiny fraction of a business as a green card holder, even 10 or 5%, the entire business is disqualified from getting an SBA loan. Let me explain why this is absolutely devastating. Small businesses are the backbone of the American economy. They create jobs, they generate tax revenue. They drive innovation. Green card holders start businesses at higher rates than native-born Americans. They're entrepreneurial, they're hardworking, they're creating opportunities not just for themselves, but for American citizens who work for them. And now, with one policy change, the government is telling them, sorry, we don't want your business to grow. We don't want you to hire more people. We don't care that you're a legal permanent resident who pays taxes and follows the law. You're not good enough. Here's what makes this even more insane. These are not small loans we're talking about. SBA loans help businesses expand, buy equipment, hire employees, and survive during tough times. Without access to these loans, many green card holder businesses will struggle to compete. Some will fail completely. And when those businesses fail, American citizens lose their jobs. How does that make America stronger? It doesn't. But that's the reality we're facing. So what can you do about this? If you're a green card holder with a business and you need an SBA loan, you have until March 1st to apply. That's your deadline. After that, the door closes. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Do it now. Go to the SBA website today. Contact a loan officer. Get your application in before the cutoff. And if you're past that deadline already by the time you're watching this, you need to explore alternative financing options. Private lenders, investors, credit unions, anything that doesn't discriminate based on immigration status. This is an attack, but it's not the end. You can still build and grow your business. You just have to work harder and smarter. Here's what public charge means. The government wants to make sure that immigrants coming to America won't become dependent on public benefits. That sounds reasonable on the surface, right? But here's the problem. The definition of what counts as a public benefit has expanded dramatically. We're talking about Medicaid, SNAP benefits, food stamps, public housing, Section 8 housing assistance. If you used any of these programs while applying for a green card, it could now be held against you. Your application could be denied because the government decides you might need help in the future. Let me be very clear about something. These are programs that millions of Americans use. They exist because sometimes people need temporary help. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you had a medical emergency. Maybe your spouse died and you're struggling to feed your kids. These programs are there for exactly those situations. But now, if you're an immigrant, using them could mean you never get your green card. Or worse, if you already have a green card and you're trying to become a citizen, the government might look back at your history and say, well, you used food stamps 3 years ago, so we're questioning whether you deserve citizenship. Think about how cruel this is. Imagine you're a green card holder with young children. You lose your job through no fault of your own. Your kids need to eat. There's a program that can help you, but now you have to choose. Do I feed my children today, or do I protect my chance of becoming a U.S. citizen in the future? That's not a choice anyone should have to make, but that's exactly what this policy forces people to do. The rule hasn't been finalized yet, but everyone in the immigration world knows it's coming. Immigration attorneys are already getting flooded with calls from terrified green card holders asking if they should drop their Medicaid coverage, if they should stop using food assistance, even though they desperately need it. And the answer isn't simple. It depends on your specific situation, how long you've used benefits, what kind of benefits, what your financial situation looks like. Now, this is why I always say, if you've used public benefits and you're worried about your immigration status, talk to an immigration attorney immediately. Don't guess, don't assume. Get professional advice because one wrong move could cost you everything. Now, let me tell you about the third devastating change. And this one affects people who are trying to join their families in America. There's a pause on immigrant visas from 75 countries. 75. Let that sink in. If you're from one of these countries and you're trying to come to America as a green card holder, your application is being held indefinitely. Interviews are being canceled. Even people who already passed their interviews are stuck in something called administrative processing, which is basically immigration limbo, where your case sits and nobody tells you when or if it will ever move forward. Here's what makes this particularly heartbreaking. These are legal applications. These are people who did everything right. They filed the paperwork, they paid the fees, they waited their turn sometimes for years, and now they're being punished simply because of where they were born. Families are being separated, children are growing up without their parents, spouses are living on different continents, and the government's response is basically, sorry, you're from the wrong country, so you have to wait indefinitely. But here's something most people don't know. If you're already inside the United States and you're applying for a green card or citizenship, the pause technically shouldn't affect you. The pause is supposed to only apply to people applying from outside the country. But guess what's happening? Some immigration offices are delaying applications for people inside the U.S. just because they're from one of the pause countries. That's illegal. That's not what the policy says, but they're doing it anyway. So what do you do if this is happening to you? You fight back. You can file what's called a writ of mandamus lawsuit against USCIS or the State Department. This is a legal tool that forces the government to make a decision on your case. I've personally helped clients use this exact strategy, and it works. In one case, a client applied for citizenship, had their ceremony canceled for no reason other than being from a pause country. We sued. They released the case. Another client passed their green card interview, then waited months with no decision because of their country of origin. We sued. They approved the case. This is how you fight back. You don't just accept the injustice, you use the legal system to force them to follow their own rules. If you're in this situation right now, if your application is being unfairly delayed, I want you to take action today. You can text me at 619-483-4549 or send me a message on WhatsApp. The number is right here on the screen. Reach out and let's talk about how we can get your case moving again. You don't have to suffer in silence. There are tools available to fight back. Now, let's talk about something even scarier. The fourth major change is that green card holders are now facing deportation for things that happened decades ago. Let me tell you a real story that happened just 2 weeks ago. A green card holder who had a DUI conviction 27 years ago was traveling back to the United States with his entire family. He's been a lawful permanent resident for decades. He pays his taxes. He's never been in trouble since that one mistake nearly 3 decades ago. But when he arrived at the airport in New York, he was detained, not questioned, and released. Detained. They held him for 12 hours at the port of entry, then transferred him to a detention facility where he spent 2 full days before we were able to get him released. 27 years ago, 1 DUI, no other arrests, no other convictions, nothing. And they still detained him like he was a dangerous criminal. This is the new reality for green card holders. Things you did 10, 15, 20 years ago are now being used against you. Minor offenses that you thought were behind you are suddenly grounds for detention and possible deportation. And it's not just convictions. There's talk about a new rule that would allow immigration to deny entry to green card holders, even if they were arrested but never convicted. Think about that. You could be completely innocent, charges dropped, case dismissed, and they could still use that arrest to keep you out of the country. This is creating a climate of fear among green card holders. People are afraid to travel. They're worried that if they leave the US, they might not be allowed back in. And this fear is justified because it's happening every single day. So, here's my advice. If you have any criminal history, even something minor from years ago, before you travel internationally, consult with an immigration attorney. Get your records. Understand what's on your background check. Know what you might face at the border. And if there's anything that could be expuned or sealed, do it now. Don't wait until you're detained at an airport to wish you had taken care of it earlier. The fifth change is increased scrutiny on re-entry for green card holders who travel abroad. Even if you have a re-entry permit, which is supposed to protect your status when you travel, immigration officers are now questioning people extensively about where they actually live. They're looking at how many days you spent outside the US. They're asking for proof that you still maintain a residence in America. And if your answers don't satisfy them, they can deny you entry even with a valid green card and re-entry permit. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Immigration now has sophisticated computer systems that track exactly when you leave and enter the United States. Every time you scan your passport, it's recorded. They know if you've been gone for 50 days or 75 days or 6 months. And they're using this data to catch people in inconsistencies. I had a client call me recently who was asked at the border how long they had been abroad. They said 50 days because that's what they thought. But the immigration officer said, "Actually, our system shows 75 days, so now we think you're lying to us." That small discrepancy, even if it was an honest mistake, became a problem. They accused him of misrepresentation and threatened to deny entry. So here's what you absolutely must do if you travel internationally as a green card holder. First, keep detailed records of your travel. Note every departure date and return date. Use a calendar, use an app, whatever works, but document it. Second, always travel with evidence that you maintain a home in the United States. Bring copies of your lease or mortgage, utility bills in your name, tax returns, bank statements, anything that shows you live here. Third, if you plan to be abroad for more than 6 months, apply for a re-entry permit before you leave. Don't assume you won't need it. Get it as insurance. And fourth, be absolutely honest with immigration officers. If they ask you a question and you're not sure of the exact answer, say that. Don't guess. Don't estimate in a way that might be wrong. Say, "I'm not certain of the exact number. Let me check my records." Honesty is your best protection. Now here's the sixth and perhaps most revealing change. There's a massive push by the government to get green card holders to become citizens. They want permanent residents to naturalize as quickly as possible. Why? Because then you're no longer a green card holder. So, they don't have to deal with you in that category anymore. The citizenship processing time is still relatively fast, about 6 months on average, which is actually pretty good compared to other immigration processes. And on the surface, this sounds great. They're encouraging people to become citizens. What's wrong with that? Here's the problem. When you apply for citizenship, they now go back and scrutinize your entire green card history in a way they didn't before. If you got your green card through marriage and you're now divorced, they're going to question whether your marriage was legitimate in the first place. They want to see evidence of your relationship, even though it might have ended years ago. They're essentially re-adjudicating your green card application during your citizenship interview. And if they find anything questionable, they can not only deny your citizenship application, they can actually revoke your green card. This creates a terrible catch-22. You're told to apply for citizenship to get more protection, but applying for citizenship opens up your entire immigration history to fresh scrutiny. And if you have any issues, maybe your marriage ended shortly after you got your green card. Maybe you had a brief period where you accepted public benefits. Maybe you traveled more than you should have. These issues that didn't matter before suddenly become reasons to not only deny citizenship, but to take away your green card entirely. So, what should you do before you apply for citizenship? Review your entire immigration history with a qualified attorney. Make sure everything is clean. If you have any potential red flags, address them first. And here's something crucial. If you're still on conditional permanent residence because you got your green card through marriage and now you're divorced, do not apply to remove conditions and apply for citizenship at the same time. Handle the removal of conditions first. Get your 10-year green card. Make sure that's secure, then apply for citizenship. Don't give them two opportunities to deny you and potentially deport you. Let me be very clear about something. The government is now openly saying that a green card is a privilege, not a right. They're saying it can be taken away at any time. They even dropped the term permanent from how they talk about permanent residence. You're a green card holder, sure, but that card can be revoked. That status can be stripped. You can be deported even after living here legally for decades. This is the new reality. So, what does all of this mean for you? It means that being a green card holder in 2026 is harder and more dangerous than it's been in decades. It means you need to be more careful, more informed, more proactive than ever before. It means that knowledge truly is power, and staying updated on these changes could be the difference between keeping your status and losing everything. Here's what I want you to do right now. First, if any of these 6 issues affect you personally, take immediate action. Don't wait. Don't hope things will get better. If you need an SBA loan, apply before March 1st. If you're using public benefits and worried about your status, consult an attorney. If your immigration application is being delayed unfairly, reach out and let's talk about filing a mandamus lawsuit. If you have old criminal history, get it reviewed before you travel. If you travel frequently, document everything and carry proof of U.S. residence. And if you're thinking about applying for citizenship, review your entire case first to make sure you're ready. Second, stay informed. Immigration policy is changing faster than ever. What's true today might not be true next month. Subscribe to Immigration Alert Center so you never miss critical information. Turn on notifications. Watch every video I post because I'm constantly tracking these changes and updating you on what you need to know. Third, share this information. You probably know other green card holders who have no idea these changes are happening. Send them this video, post it in your community groups, share it on your social media. Help me get this message out because the mainstream media isn't covering this. Most people have no idea their rights are being stripped away until it's too late. We need to inform and protect each other. If you need personal help with your immigration case, you can text me at 619-483-4549 or message me on WhatsApp. The number is on your screen right now. Don't hesitate. If you're facing delays, denials, or any immigration problem, reach out. I've helped hundreds of people fight back and win, and I can help you too. Look, I know this video was heavy. I know it's scary to hear all the ways things are getting worse for green card holders, but here's the truth. You're still here, you're still fighting, you worked incredibly hard to get your green card, and you're not going to let them take it away without a fight. Knowledge is power, preparation is protection, and together, we're going to navigate these challenges and come out stronger. Remember, you're not alone in this. There are millions of green card holders facing the same struggles. There are attorneys and advocates fighting every day to protect immigrant rights. And there are channels like Immigration Alert Center dedicated to keeping you informed and empowered. Don't lose hope, don't give up, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep fighting for your American dream. If this video helped you, hit that like button right now. Leave a comment below telling me which of these 6 changes worries you most, or if you've personally experienced any of these issues. Your stories matter, and they help other viewers understand they're not alone. Subscribe to Immigration Alert Center if you haven't already, and turn on all notifications. I post new videos every week covering the latest immigration news, policy changes, legal strategies, and everything you need to know to protect your status and your future. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for trusting me with this information. Thank you for being part of this community. Stay strong, stay informed, and remember that your dreams are worth fighting for. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and protect.